Welcome to Browns All Access. Nathan Zegura alongside Bernie Kosar. And Bernie, what a day at First Energy Stadium. The Browns taking care of business 26-20 over the Panthers, 5-7-1 on the year, out of the basement of the AFC North and still alive in that playoff race.
Well said. I love the first play of the game. From the offensive perspective, to hit a 60-some-yard bomb. Coach Kitchens, Coach Williams, congratulations on the ability not only to win the game, but to come up with that concept and to have Baker, and for Baker to come out and execute a play like that, to almost neuter a Carolina Panther team that was in almost a must-win, to get a playoff position and to take it to them and tell them, I'm here to play, by just that first statement play of Baker going for the dagger with that double post hitting Perriman over the top. Beautiful stuff to watch.
It was awesome, and I think it was huge because every time the Panthers did something, the Browns answered it in the first half, from 7-7, 14-14, 17-17. And for Baker, I thought it was just a big test because it was similar. The start was similar to what we saw in Houston, except then the Browns came out and answered the call with a beautiful dime, as you pointed out. And you're right, this was a Carolina team. This was a playoff game for the Panthers. This is a team that's been to the Super Bowl. Cam Newton on one side, Luke Kuechly on the other, and Baker Mayfield and company got it done.
And Baker got it done. And I like to say, I don't think it was a test for Baker now. This is a consistently almost perfect play. This is not a rookie performance we're seeing. This is a all-time excellent quarterback performance by veteran standards. So I'm not concerned anymore about really is how Baker's going to perform. I think everybody needs to get up to speed to how he is performing. And again, we're victims or beneficiaries of the guys around us. Our quarterback play is being exceptional. Everybody else seems to be raising their level of play too.
Absolutely. 18-22 for Baker. Now throws a touchdown in all 10 of his starts. Only the third quarterback in the Super Bowl era to do that in his first 10 starts in the NFL. Now, it wasn't just about the offense. The defense in the second half giving up only 3 points. So let's take a look at some of those big defensive plays in our Papa John's play breakdown.
All right, I'm Andrew Gribble here with Browns defensive line coach Clyde Simmons. And Clyde, we're looking at a play here in the overtime period against the Buccaneers where it's 2nd and 22, and you guys deliver another big sack with Larry Ogunjobi and Emmanuel Ogbah.
Yeah. It was where we got a little stunt inside. 55, Avery just come inside, and then Larry's a looper on this right here. You know, Emmanuel's pressing up the field, Miles was pressing up the field and stuff right that's contained in the pocket. He did a good job of collapsing the pocket by those two inside guys. He had nowhere to step up into. Larry and Ogbah, split the sack on this right here. This is what we look for every week, fast, getting to the quarterback, making them make fast decisions, hurried decisions, not being able to get the ball off. We got great coverage behind, so he has to pump once, and then, those guys are just collapsing the pocket. They're doing a really good job of doing that.
Yeah, this is one of those sacks where two guys get credit for it, but really this is almost the entire defensive line doing what it's supposed to do.
Right, it's them doing this, rush and coverage go hand in hand. Those guys in the back, they don't get enough credit for what they do. He has nowhere to throw when he sets his feet. He wants to throw the ball on that. As soon as that foot plant on that third or fifth step, he wants to let the ball go, but there's no open men over there, so he has to pull it down. And those guys right there, all we want to do is just get them to pull it down once and get to them. If we're doing our job and they're doing theirs, it's a long day for the quarterback.
We'll move on to the next play here. It's the Houston game just a week ago. Myles Garrett trying to get to Deshaun Watson, and he finally does get to him. What does he do well in this play to get him down?
He does a good job of keeping his feet moving. I mean, he's using a long arm rush on this right here. And he's just doing a good job of collapsing the pocket. You can see inside this, Larry's getting a good push up the middle. Trey could be better. Emmanuel's, outside rush on that, keeping him inside of the pocket where he wanted, trying to escape, but Emmanuel's there. And then Miles, like I said, he's doing a good long arm rush over there. He gets his hand on it. It's a little known rule that, talk about horse collaring, but once it's in the pocket, there's no such thing as horse collaring in there. So you can get the quarterback down any way you can. And what he did, he finally understand that. He's worrying about, he's done missed a couple of sacks early in the year by not reaching out and grabbing him by the collar and stuff right there and pulling him down. So he finally figured it out that they're not going to call horse collaring on that, so because it's inside the pocket.
Bernie, Myles Garrett now 12.5 sacks. And when you think about the fact that the Browns have 21.5 as a team, you can see he is the main man. And we saw that in those highlights there, ripping Deshaun Watson down. How good is Myles Garrett?
Well, again, thank you, Myles Garrett, for making our job so easy.
Yes.
I almost feel like a broken record. The ability to rush 4 guys, play 7 in coverage, how the back end of the defense works with the front end of the defense. Myles Garrett kind of anchoring that pass rush with consistent pressure. It's making for a dominating performance and winning performance.
Absolutely. We want to see that against Denver, by the way. Case Keenum, not the strongest arm quarterback in the NFL, but we'll be back with more strong analysis on Browns All Access. After the break, we learn more about the dog that inspired Rashard Higgins' game day cleats, and Jarvis Landry talks about his 2-touchdown game against the Panthers. Welcome back to Browns All Access. Nathan Zegura alongside Browns legend Bernie Kosar. And Bernie, one of the worst kept secrets coming out of training camp was the chemistry between Hollywood Higgins and Baker Mayfield. At the time, working together on the second team. Now they're working together as starters for the Cleveland Browns, and that chemistry continues to lead to production.
Absolutely. And production, when you get production from everybody and you get your quarterback who is just so accurate and just so efficient in his timing, again, I don't want to take away from Higgins and the plays he's making, and I don't want to keep giving Baker all the credit being the ex-quarterback, but I love the way they're, to your point, the timing that they're putting together, some of the third down conversions, some of the second and long conversions that are keeping the chains moving and just not scripted plays like screens. I mean, good, nice 18-yard square ends, abilities to convert third and long. That moves the sticks. That's definitely an indicator of more W's to come with that type of timing.
Absolutely. He was great at Colorado State. He's been great now in his third year, career highs in receiving yards, in touchdowns, in yards per catch, and of course, in yards per target. His efficiency with Baker Mayfield, the highest of his career. Now let's learn more about the man they call Hollywood in our Player Spotlight, brought to you by Fifth Third Bank.
He's trying to protect his owner right now. Fun fact, he knows where his house is too. So I got a dog right after training camp. I have always wanted a dog of my own. Man, I think he's about to, I think he was he knock that over?
Yeah, just hold it.
Yeah, hold him, bro. Yeah. Cause he was biting on that thing too. Come on. Go. Bloopers, that's bloopers, man. So I had always wanted a dog. I figured I'd get one right after training camp. What kind of dog was a great question. I seen Astro online. That's the name of my dog. His name is Astro. And once I seen him, I fell in love with him. As y'all can see, he's over there. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's ready. Come on, you ready? Okay. He definitely feeling it right now. What is that? What is that, buddy? With the My Claws, My Cleats, I wanted to put Astro's face on there just because I wanted to do dog abuse or something in that nature, just because I know that dogs are just like humans. They have feelings, and my dog is my best friend. That's why I chose that, My Claws, My Cleats. He knows what elevator to go to. This is fun. This is his first time being in the snow, so I don't really know how he's gonna react, but we're about to find out. So, let's go. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Uh-oh. Let's see this. There he goes. Proud parent. It took a lot to get him to come outside and use the restroom. So, man, I'm so proud. This is the worst part though, cleaning up after him. Come on, go in the snow. You don't like the snow? So owning a dog, man, I think is very hard. There's times where he was a little puppy, he would cry all night. He's like, what is this? Now you want to eat sticks? Come on, I'm leaving you. You can stay out here. He suckered me into laying in my bed with me, and I mean, I guess you can say that's the best part of owning a dog.
Oh yeah, he's letting you know he got his eye on you. You trying to protect me, bro?
They say a dog is a man's best friend, and I can only say that that is true.
What's up? I'm Allie Raymond, and this is your Social Minute, where we show you the best of what happened on social media this week. First up, a Reddit user posted this image of Baker Mayfield as Maverick from Top Gun in the danger zone, flight suit, and all, with signature phrase, "woke up feeling dangerous." We have officially come upon a new era of Cleveland Brown memes, and we are loving every single minute of it. Next up, you may be familiar with the infamous Cleveland Browns quarterback jersey that has haunted us for forever. With a little help from Photoshop, a Reddit user has changed the jersey to reflect every quarterback Myles Garrett has taken down in his short NFL career. I don't know, that jersey's probably gonna fill up pretty quickly. And finally, our favorite defensive back, Terrence Mitchell, aka Money Mitch, had a very fun press conference this week. Hard hat, puffy vest, and a lunch pail. You can't see it, but it probably is there. He really let his blue collar shine through. He's ready to get to work. That's all, folks. I'm Allie Raymond, and this was your Social Minute.
Coming up next, Jarvis Landry sits down with Andrew Gribble, and defensive line coach Clyde Simmons previews the Denver Broncos. Welcome back to Browns All Access. Nathan Zegura alongside Bernie Kosar. And Bernie, we've touched a little bit on Baker Mayfield, feeling dangerous, playing free. And how important is it what Greg Williams said to him to allow him to come out and play that free against the Panthers?
Greg Williams, when he first took over the job and has been consistent through with him and Freddie Kitchens of talking about being aggressive, going for it, playing free, taking shots, and Baker Mayfield with that great gift of looking down the field when the head coach has your back and the defensive head coach has your back and he's telling you to be free, go for it, throw those bombs. You're seeing the fruits of that wisdom, and God bless and thank you for seeing and the ability to turn this into W's like this.
Absolutely, and I'd say no play embodied that more than when Baker rolled left, kept his eye down the field, and threw a 51-yard strike in between three defenders to Jarvis Landry for a huge touchdown.
On 3rd and 17.
3rd and 17, rolling left, 51 yards, as I said, put the biscuit in the basket, and it was a touchdown for the Browns. And to talk about that, oh, by the way, Jarvis also scored a rushing touchdown. To talk about all that, Jarvis sat down with our Andrew Gribble.
Mayfield under center, 2nd and goal, takes Perriman to the left, hands the ball on a sweep, Landry's got it, he's in, touchdown, what a play!
I'm Andrew Gribble here with Browns wide receiver Jarvis Landry, and Jarvis, is that as much fun as you've had in a game at the NFL level in a while? You did a little bit of everything out there.
No, it was fun. It was definitely a good experience, and most of all, I'm just happy we won.
Is that something maybe like took you back all the way to high school? Just with the way you were used, throwing the ball, running the ball, catching the ball?
Yeah, it was something definitely that brought back memories. This definitely was one of the game plans that I was most excited about, having the opportunity to throw the ball, run the ball, and obviously catch.
What are you thinking as the ball's in the air coming your way for that 51-yard touchdown in the end zone when there's a bunch of guys right around you?
I just fell in love with the ball. I saw the ball, just fell in love with it. Didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. I just wanted to catch the ball.
Baker's got the snap. He's up in the pocket. He's looking left, down the field, firing. He's going for Landry down by the end zone. A tumbling catch for a touchdown! What a catch by Landry!
How much have things just turned around for you personally? You're a guy that loves to win. That's all you're here to do. Winning 3 of the last 4 and really kind of having some momentum here going toward the end of the season.
That's been my whole focus, just come win games, help the team in any way I possibly can, whether my number's being called or it's not, just doing my job regardless and trusting my preparation during the week, during practice, that it'll pay off during the game when my time does come.
Now the odds, maybe not in your guys' favor, but the playoffs are still a possibility here if you guys win out. How much is that kind of hovering in the locker room and guiding what you guys want to do over these next 3 games?
We kind of know it's in the midst, but honestly, we've just been so focused on this game and our preparation each game, and not really looking ahead. Honestly, we know that nothing can be done if we don't take care of what we need to take care of. So I think lately we haven't been letting things affect us as far as negative things, as far as turnovers, penalties. We've learned from early on in the season to, I guess, built that tolerance that now, we're a brotherhood, we got each other's back, and regardless of what happens out there, we come to win.
Jarvis, thank you very much. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. God bless.
Yes, Jarvis did it all on Sunday. Almost threw a touchdown there. Maybe an ill-advised throw, but it certainly would have been on the money had the defender not been there. But I want to talk about the rushing touchdown. What a play call from Freddie Kitchens down there near the goal line. The Browns have now scored on 14 consecutive trips to the red zone, 14 touchdowns. That's the best rate in the NFL. But then how about dialing up that exact same play near midfield on a third down, and Jarvis scampers for 51 yards?
The creativity of the play call to Jarvis Landry, and if you noticed what Jarvis said after the game, that wasn't exactly a play that just was put in last week. They had been working on this play for multiple weeks, almost saving it in the arsenal for the right down and distance situation, the right defensive statistical possibility of what defense are going to play against it with the certain personnel groups. And for Freddie Kitchens to show the patience, then be able to come up with it at the right time. And again, us quarterbacks, we're the beneficiary of a good coaching staff being that creative, and everybody matters, every attention to detail, and him making a call like that, taking the heat off of the passing game, actually opens up the passing game.
It sure does, and it sure did. I guess as Jarvis Landry said, everybody's waking up feeling dangerous. It's getting contagious, even play caller Freddie Kitchens. And we'll be back feeling dangerous with more Browns All Access right after this. Who was the last Browns player to have both a 50-yard rush and a 50-yard catch in the same game prior to Jarvis Landry last week? Is the answer A, Leroy Horde, B, Eric Metcalf, C, Travis Benjamin, or D, Braylon Edwards? Who was the last Browns player to have both a 50-yard rush and a 50-yard catch in the same game prior to Jarvis Landry accomplishing the feat last week? Well, the answer is A, Leroy Horde. Leroy had a 61-yard rush and a 78-yard catch in the Browns' 20-15 win over the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 13 of the 1991 season. Welcome back to Browns All Access. Nathan Zegura alongside Bernie Kosar. And Bernie, we're going to the Mile High City, Denver. How do you think this Browns team matches up with the Broncos? Because the locker room says our focus solely on taking care of business in Denver.
What I love about this team and these players, and again, on the coaches with Greg Williams and Freddie Kitchens and Blake Williams, how they're handling it. They know that what they do in their course of preparation during the week is the main indicator of what's going to happen on this Saturday night. Maybe a month or two ago, people were nervous about how this game was going to go. I'd be nervous if I was Denver right now. I love the way the Browns are playing. If we don't get too excited with ourselves and we stick to what we've been doing, which I've been seeing all week in practice, this is a nice time to be coming out and playing good football in the month of December.
Yes, it is. Browns have won 3 of their last 4, but to take care of business against the Broncos, they need to do it up front defensively. Phillip Lindsey, the running back of the Broncos, is having a sensational year. And to preview this game, we spoke with Browns defensive line coach Clyde Simmons.
All right, Clyde, with 3 games to go, Myles Garrett's at 12.5 sacks. He's closing in on the team record. What has he been doing well from the start of the season to get to this point?
Well, Myles has been putting in the work. I mean, everything his success he's having is because of what he does at practice. It's about getting better every day. It's not about the numbers. The numbers will come. This old saying that sacks come in bunches, and sometimes you get a little drought, but when they start coming, they come in bunches. And right now he's a recipient of them in that, but it's all the work that he puts in every day.
Larry Ogunjobi's been dealing with a bicep injury. I know it comes with part of the game. You got to play through some pain. What have you been seeing from him as he's been dealing with this injury?
Larry's been fighting through all the stuff right there. He's always been a warrior for us. He comes out and he works hard. He tries to do everything perfect. A lot of people don't know that. I think this is his 7th or 8th year of playing football collectively, not 7th or 8th year in this league, 7th or 8th year of playing football, including high school and college. And most guys, by the time they get in college, already done played 6-7 years or something like that. And you know, he's making leaps. His skill levels making leaps and bounds and stuff right there. And I have nothing but great things for him.
Denver likes to run the ball a lot with Phillip Lindsey, a rookie running back, a smaller guy, but it seems like he can find his way through the holes and really make defenses pay.
Yeah, we have to do a very good job of snuffing out the run game in there. You know, that's what we go off every week of trying to do, is limit the number of yards they can have rushing, you know, keep them inside and contain the runner and that stuff and make tackles.
Miles got pretty close there with a strip sack that ultimately got taken away, but how good would it be to see your guys maybe cause a turnover or two in this kind of matchup?
I would love to see us get about 5, 6 of them myself personally. I'm kind of greedy when it comes to that right there, because, you know, we're giving our offense more opportunities to score, and we just want to get the ball to them as fast as we can.
I really think the key is to stop Phillip Lindsey. We know that their receiving core decimated by injury, and they traded Demaryius Thomas, so it's all about the ground game for the Broncos. But I'm excited to see Baker Mayfield prime time Saturday night delight against Denver.
Well, I think everybody is, the media, the national media included. I think our timing, though, is impeccable of interviewing Clyde Simmons right now. Clyde Simmons and the defensive line that he used to be with, the great Reggie White, the great Jerome Brown, Mike Golick. I almost see our defensive line starting to take on those characteristics and that almost ability to dominate games. The games in December sometimes are won in the trenches. I like the way our trenches have been playing. And again, if we get the quarterback play that I know we've been getting, this is going to be a fun Saturday night.
I agree with you. And it's a perfect date night with the Browns against the Broncos. And you mentioned the trenches. The Browns' offensive line continues to do a great job. Their matchup with Von Miller obviously will be important for Baker Mayfield. For the latest on your Browns, keep it tuned to clevelandbrowns.com, the Browns mobile app, as well as you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, all our social media channels. And for the latest on this man, check out Kosar19.com. For Bernie Kosar, I'm Nathan Zegura saying thanks so much for watching another edition of Browns All Access, and let's go Browns.